You three logicians are in prison. To win your freedom, you must solve a puzzle, a test of logic. You are indeed logicians. Here are the rules of the game. 3 people stand in a line facing a wall. The prison chief has 3 red hats and 2 blue hats. He places 1 hat on each person's head. Each of you can see only the people in front of you, and you can't see the color of your hat. Player 1 can see the hats of Player 2 and Player 3. Player 2 can see only Player 3's hat. Player 3 sees only the wall. After the prison chief randomly puts the hats on and asks Player 1, "Do you know the color of your hat?" Player 1 replies, "I don't know." Then the chief asks Player 2, "Do you know the color of your hat?" Player 2 also replies, "I don't know." Finally, the prison chief asks Player 3, "Do you know the color of your hat?" Player 3 answers, "Yes, I know the color of my hat." There is one important condition. The answers from Player 1 and Player 2 provide crucial information for Player 3. Although Player 3 cannot see any hats, he can deduce the answer from their responses. We know that the prison chief has 3 red hats and 2 blue hats in total. When he places hats on the 3 players, only 3 hats are actually chosen, but they could be in different combinations of red and blue. If we imagine the situation abstractly, without limits, each player could either wear a red hat or a blue hat. That means there are 2 possibilities for Player 1, 2 possibilities for Player 2, and 2 possibilities for Player 3. Multiplying these choices together, we arrive at 2 times 2 times 2, which equals 8 possible arrangements in total. However, not all of these 8 cases can really exist, because the chief owns only 2 blue hats. A situation where all 3 players wear blue would require 3 blue hats, which is impossible. Once we remove that case, 7 realistic combinations remain, and those 7 are the ones we must analyze carefully. Now let's consider the situation from Player 1's point of view. Remember, he can see the hats of Player 2 and Player 3, but he cannot see his own. Imagine for a moment that both of the players in front of him were wearing blue hats. If that were the case, then Player 1 would immediately realize the truth. Why? Because there are only 2 blue hats available in total. If both were already used on the others, then his own hat could not possibly be blue. It would have to be red. In such a scenario, Player 1 would answer with complete certainty, "I know my hat is red," but instead he says, "I don't know." This means that both hats in front of him cannot be blue. That combination is eliminated. Then we move to Player 2's point of view. Unlike Player 1, he can only see the hat of Player 3. But by combining what he sees with what Player 1 just said, he has more information than it might appear at first glance. Imagine that Player 3 is wearing a blue hat. In that situation, Player 2 would realize his own hat must be red, because if it were also blue, Player 1 would not have hesitated earlier. But Player 2 doesn't claim certainty. He says, "I don't know." That answer rules out those possibilities. Finally, consider the situation from Player 3's point of view. He has not seen any hats, only the wall. Yet the earlier answers tell him everything he needs. If Players 1 and 2 had seen enough to be certain, they would have spoken. Their hesitation proves the truth. Player 3 must be wearing red. Thank you for watching. Write in the comments what you think, and if you already know the answer.